instinct or something.
And a lot of the time you ignore it. And sometimes when you have ignored it, you say to yourself, why didn't I listen?
Yeah.
And I say, well, you should listen, because one thing you have to remember about your guardian angel or any of God's angels is they'll never ask you to do anything wrong or bad or mean or selfish. If you're doing something like that, then you're listening to
Are you happy with that? Or you are? Okay. Is there anyone who thinks that, gentleman here with on the aisle seat, you want to say something before we return from our audience? Yes, sir.
I just want to try and get a bit more definition from yourself, Lorna, about what you see or what messages you get.
And what's your name, sorry?
Stephen, sorry.
Stephen, thank you. So your question is you want more clarity?
Yes.
And you have to be specific about the clarity you require.
On what guidance, like if you're translating or if you're seeing things that other people mightn't be seeing, like I know you're talking about like following your gut instinct and saying things, but it doesn't seem very like you're giving a good message, like what you're trying to tell us, like, or how we're trying to pick up on what you're seeing or what we might.
So do you want proof, evidence, that kind of thing?
Well, along that direction of why we might kind of be thinking along those lines.
So why should we believe you, Lorna, for example? I mean it respectfully, rather than somebody else saying stuff about instinct and so on.
That's a fair question to ask. I can't prove it. You have to remember, I've seen angels since I was an infant.
Yes.
And it's actually normal and natural. And I was considered retarded as a child. I can't really read and write very properly.
Yes.
And again, you might say, well, then how did you write these 3 books? You know, how did I manage? But the angels used to say I would write about God and us, meaning them at the time.
Sure.
And when it did come close to the time to write, it was the angel Michael that said, you're going to write about God and the angels soon. It's getting near time. And I just laughed at him, you know, and said, I can't even read and write. How on earth does God expect me to write 1 book? And as soon as I said yes, after my husband died, the miracles start happening. Of someone I had just met, knew I couldn't read or write, didn't even know what I was going to write about, and I just said to him, I'm going to write, and he didn't ask any questions. So he definitely listened to his guardian angel.
Okay.
And he went out and bought a laptop, a printer, and the magic little box that I call it, a dragon net.
Or you can talk into it and it brings the words out.
I talk into it.
Okay, just as a matter of curiosity within the audience, is there anyone in the audience, that we do a hands high, who finds that this is utterly unbelievable? If you raise your hand, who thinks that this is complete nonsense, that you just wouldn't buy it in a million years? Hands up high so we can see it. Okay, hands down. Hands up who thinks that this is absolutely 100% the truth, this is the way forward, and Lorna speaks the language that you all understand and appreciate and enjoy. Okay, that's bizarre, because there's a bunch of you who haven't put your hand up for anything. So the rest of you, I don't know, your hands up the undecided. Maybe that's what oh, there you are. Okay, well, that makes sense. Okay, so everyone's a little bit undecided as to where to go, which is probably not a bad result, all things considered. Those who don't believe, again, anyone who'd like to comment on it, who thinks that, who want to say a word, gentlemen on the far side of the audience there, you want to say, because we've spoken to a few people clearly who do believe, and I'd like to balance it up just a little bit. And your name is, if you don't mind?
Liam is my name.
Liam, what's your comment to Lorna?
I'm just wondering that, how do you convince somebody like a non-believer like me that there's an angel sitting, you know, over me or beside this fella here beside me?
I actually don't know. All that I can tell you is what I see, and how the angels have interacted in my life tell you everything that I know. And it's actually up to you. It's actually faith. I know every single human being has a guardian angel. I've been all around the world now in an awful lot of countries, and I haven't seen any man, woman or child without a guardian angel, regardless of their religion or even whether they're good or bad. So you have one, I can see it right there.
Well, tell him what his is like.
You know, the light hasn't opened up, I'm sorry, so I can't tell him physically.
Go on, Liam,
this guy here beside me is from Show Tour, so he's obviously eccentric, he's in the entertainment business, so does he have an eccentric guardian angel?
That's a good point. Do they reflect your personality?
No. They don't seem to.
He might have a boring angel, you know.
I'd say he has.
You never know. Lorna, I know in your new book you reflect what's happening in the world. Thank you, by the way, all the people in the world today. Things like recession, money problems. God knows the amount of people tonight who are in a bad way. And, you know, they're looking for answers. And in some ways, angels have become a help to people, rightly or wrongly. And you talk about the angel of hope.
Yes,
And I know you talked about in the book advising a couple who are in financial distress to, the angel has said, lose a car, stop spending as much. You know, it sounds like Eddie Hobbs, but you say, you know, but no, I'm not trying to be facetious.
No, that's fine.
Because that's what the angel advised. So the angels are very practical and with it.
Yeah, well, they are, and they do guide us and give us advice, just like that couple at that time. And I know when the third book came up, you know, I wasn't even thinking of writing it. And again, the angel Michael just said, it's getting near time for the third book to be written.
Yes.
And it must be written about hope. And that's what I did, and the angels helped me. And everything that's in there is full of messages. The only way I can say it is from God and the angels.
Yes.
And the thing is, to me, it is actually incredible that all over the world, the books are becoming bestsellers.
And you've a big deal in the States, by the way, so congratulations.
It's helping people. Like, I got a letter, and I get loads of letters, and there's the website. I'll tell you the story quick, because I don't know what time you have. I got this letter from a 17-year-old who said he'd been expelled from school, he'd been in trouble with the law, his parents said he was a waste of space, and the police said he'll end up in prison, they're just waiting for him to be, you know, of age, and he'd, you know, even beaten up people. And a stranger passed him the book, Angels in My Hair, it was the first one. And that young man in the letter said, it has saved my life, I don't want to end up in prison. Now I know I have a guardian. If that's actually what life is about, helping someone else and changing life.
And that's your endeavour in the world.
That's actually what's happening.
Lorna, thanks for coming to see us tonight. Sorry for cutting you off so shortly. But Lorna Byrne, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Nice to see you.